Fellow soldiers, your army and your nation go with you. Thank you.
My brother's name is Lieutenant Colonel Rocky Baragona. Rocky was the guy you wanted to be. I mean, he was intelligent and he was a leader, a career soldier who really believed in what we were doing. He had delayed going home, and so he was the last group out, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and a tractor trailer jackknifed suddenly and landed on top of his vehicle and killed him instantly. All we had for a year was a line, one line that said he was killed on his way home by a tractor trailer that jackknifed on the side of the road.
Pam Baragona, along with the rest of the family, have been investigating the death of their fallen soldier, Lieutenant Colonel Rocky Baragona, since 2003. They started coming to Capitol Hill to find out more about his death.
Over 7 years, we've probably come here once a month.
After more than a year, her efforts started to pay off. The Army agreed to release more information about the incident, including this photo that identified a company called Kuwait Gulf Link Transport Company, or KGL, as the driver of the truck.
The photo showed 3 KGL trucks at the scene. KGL knew, and the Army knew that day. I mean, so I really questioned, like, why did the Army not want to tell us that? I mean, Rocky was a commander. How would you not tell? From the very first second, I said, we need to know about this company.
But KGL ignored her calls, so the Baragona family decided to sue and discovered they were going up against one of the largest foreign companies being paid by U.S. taxpayers in Iraq. The Army relied on the Kuwaiti company to transport much of their equipment.
Then we found out that there were reports out there that truck drivers were being forced to drive against their will, that their passports were being taken. KGL had been banned in India for recruiting scams.
Soon, she saw that the military was hiring many foreign companies in war zones. In the quest for justice for her brother, she had stumbled upon the shadowy world of foreign companies who do much of the work to keep the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan going. And though they're paid with taxpayer dollars, she found out that when something goes wrong, even when Americans get killed, it's almost impossible to hold them accountable.
We should at least give an investigation to Rocky. I mean, just because he deserved it.
Under U.S. law, the company could have been held liable for the accident. However, a federal judge in Georgia reluctantly threw out the suit because KGL doesn't do business inside the U.S. border. In the decision, he called KGL's actions an affront to the solemn sacrifices of service members. KGL called the death a tragedy, but argued in writing that if the case had been filed within the proper jurisdiction in Kuwait, KGL would have been able to demonstrate that neither the company nor the driver were negligent.
How can you have a lobbyist here in America promote your business here, but not be able to be held in court on a simple traffic accident? And why didn't we have laws that gave us those rights?
So they went to Capitol Hill again, this time to change the law.
As a family, we wanted to bring the issue of contracting bad players to the light. We thought that would serve Rocky as far as a legacy. And so we began knocking on every staffer's door that could possibly talk to us.
I think that the Baragona family came to my office because they were aware that this was an office that would care about the fact that this was a death to an American soldier at the hands of a contractor, and that they were unable to find justice.
Senator McCaskill has led the charge in Congress to investigate defense contractors.
In Iraq and Afghanistan, more so than any other conflict we've ever been in, we are relying heavily on foreign contractors.
They build bases and roads and supply troops with everything from food to translators to ammunition. Along with the heavy reliance on foreign subcontractors have come a number of alleged abuses. In a never-before-released video obtained by the Center for Public Integrity and the Huffington Post Investigative Fund, U.S. taxpayer-funded contractors are said to be enjoying the services of prostitutes. According to the allegations contained in Pentagon documents, the prostitutes were brought into Baghdad's Green Zone by Middle Eastern subcontractors who allegedly hoped to win new contracts. Another congressional investigation found some private security subcontractors in Afghanistan are comprised of warlords and strongmen who may be bribing the Taliban.
Bad contracting can really undermine the mission, no question about it.
And now, the Barragona's mission for justice for Rocky has brought about a proposal to hold foreign subcontractors more accountable for their abuses in U.S. courts. Senator McCaskill proposed a Lieutenant Colonel Rocky Barragona Justice for American Heroes Harmed by Contractors Act.
And it gives you the opportunity to have your day in court. And right now, with a foreign contractor or a subcontractor that's outside of the United States jurisdiction, you have no recourse.
The Senate Homeland Security Committee passed the bill, but now it faces a tough Senate vote and is opposed by the Pentagon.
The military also thinks that we're going to attract more contractors and get a better value for our dollar if they are not scared away from contracting with us because of the likelihood that they could be held accountable in courts in the United States. That's on one side. On the other side is simple justice for Rocky Barragona and his family.
This year, KGL hired members of a powerful law firm named Kroll Mooring to lobby for them in Washington.
It is a stark contrast between a high-paid lobbyist and Mr. and Mrs. Barragona, and somehow, some way, we got to make sure that Mr. and Mrs. Barragona get heard.